Happy New Year and welcome back to our sixth Parents Lunch and Learn meeting. It's been a while, it's been over a month since our last meeting, and we have a number of updates to share as always. And everyone has been doing an amazing job pulling everything together. They've been working around the clock. They did take their breaks and they did rest, but they were also here sometimes over break getting things up and going with all of our new updates. So I have a few updates to share today, and then I'll be handing over the reins of this presentation to Mrs. Perk and to Mrs. Bro. We do have MAP testing coming up. That will be for our in-person and for our remote learners, and there'll be more information about the remote learning MAPS testing later on for the remote families. They will have a little meeting after this one. Our MAP testing will start next week. It is all done online. It is no pressure from home. There is nothing extra you need to do. We are all doing a great job of having good, healthy breakfasts and getting a good night's sleep. And really, that is all we need to do to stay focused for these tests. So we will start with the younger students next week, and then the middle school students will be testing, I believe, the week of the 19th. Now, we don't just do testing and work here, we have a lot of fun too. So Catholic Schools Week, we will have a School Spirit Week starting the 25th of January. We will have a virtual open house, which we will send a link for that we can share with any of your friends who may be thinking about enrolling their students for next year. We have, we're not, leaving anything out this year. We're going to do a virtual Catholic Millionaire. You may have already seen the information out about the talent show on the 28th. Mrs. Bro is collecting Flipgrid recordings, or you can record your student with your cell phone or with the computer and send videos of them doing some great talent. And the neat thing this year is you are going to be able to do this from home. So whether it's hopping on a pogo stick, skiing down a mountain, reading a poem. I believe we already had someone who submitted them speaking in French, one of the younger students. It was amazing. And I am really encouraging the teachers to get involved as well. So this should be a really exciting experience. It'll be a little different. We won't all be over in Aquinas Hall, but I think that we are going to have a lot of fun with it, and it will be posted on the website. We are going to have a virtual mass, which I would like to invite everyone to come to on the 29th. That will be posted on our Google Calendar on the website as well. All right, so we still have to talk about COVID. We're still doing all of the safety precautions that we've done all along. I still have to submit daily reports to the state. But one of the new things that actually the CDC put out these guidelines a while ago, the new requirements for quarantine being only 10 days, the Orange County and the health department have accepted that now. And so quarantine requirements have changed to 10 days. So you will only be, if your child is exposed, you will be required to quarantine for 10 days, and you'll just watch for symptoms. Now, of course, if your child gets sick, or if you get sick, that will be different, and you will have to then be in touch with your doctor in the health department. But as of now, the new quarantine rules of 10 days are in effect for all of the schools. Today, as I stated, right after this presentation by Mrs. Perk and Mrs. Bro about our new internet filtering system, there will be a virtual student parent support meeting for any questions on maybe ways that we can improve the experience for our students who are out there at home. Lindsay, I'm going to grab your question right now because I didn't say that. It is 10 days. You do not need to test out of quarantine. So it is right now, if there are no symptoms at all after 10 days, you do not need to test to return to school. So that is definitely a change in what initially we were required to do. But if you stay home 14 days and want to learn virtually online, that's okay too. That certainly you all know this by now, that if we quarantine or if you're home doing virtual learning, that is always an option. Okay. We have some other exciting things. We have some new, shout out to MSMC. We have some new furniture coming in for students. I had ordered some stand-up desks for students who need to move around a little bit more. It's difficult, and now the kids are sitting in their chairs a long time. So I have some stand-up desks and some new chairs coming for certain classrooms. We have some new whiteboards coming in that are being installed after school today. And that is all on our capital improvement budget from the Mount. So that is not coming out of tuition at all, which is the way I love to do it, not spending our money. We love to spend the Mount's money. And finally, speaking of spending the Mount's money, I'm so excited about this. Finally, I've been talking about it forever. We're able to, over break, because of Mrs. Bro and Mrs. Perk, able to launch our one-to-one devices for students in grades 4 through 8. So we have beautiful new Chromebooks in place. Some of the classrooms have laptops. I videoed a grade class the other day using them. It was fantastic. And I really do want to start posting again some of the great things going on at school. So speaking of this wonderful new technology, the most important thing is to keep our students safe while they are online. And at this point, I would like to turn the meeting over to Mrs. Perk and Mrs. Bro to talk about our new internet filtering system.
Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Perk. Welcome back and Happy New Year. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying that we have always had an internet filter on our computers called CyberSitter, which we use in conjunction with Vision software, and they work very well. And this is required by law for K-12 schools, pre-K to 12, I apologize. However, to meet the expectations during our new hybrid model of face-to-face, in-person, and remote learning, we really needed to adopt a more robust filter to meet these needs. So at the moment, our computer lab, which is not used for remote learning, will continue to use CyberSitter and Visions, and our laptops and Chromebooks, which we have deployed to the students, will run GoGuardian. GoGuardian abides by the Student Privacy Pledge, which is basically a K-12 school service provider pledge to say they will be responsible stewards of student information. GoGuardian is also certified by KeepSafe and is compliant with FERPA and other internet protection laws, and I meant to say iKeepSafe. So very briefly, FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which is a federal law that protects the privacy of student educational records. COPA, or the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, is another federal law which helps protect kids younger than 13 when they're online. This prohibits unfair or deceptive acts or practices in connection with the collection and use of personal information from and about children on the internet. And the last one is CIPA, also known as the Children's Internet Protection Act, which was enacted to address concerns about children's access to harmful content over the internet. Very important, CIPA. And we are compliant with these. You may also remember we sent an email about December 3rd with information about GoGuardian. So if you have a chance, go ahead and take a look at that, and then please reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about GoGuardian. GoGuardian is one of the internet filters we use to keep our students safe online. It is a Chrome extension which runs in the Chrome browser on Chromebooks. This extension is pushed out remotely to our students' Chromebooks. GoGuardian also runs on Windows, but needs to be installed individually on each Windows device. Not only does it filter inappropriate content, it allows teachers to see what students are doing online in real time. And even displays information like if they're off task or if they maybe need help. And it just creates another important connection between students and teachers and helping us help students learn. So ultimately, it's helping the learning process. I really just wanted to give you some statistics. We have scanned through GoGuardian 10,000 online visits already just since December for just grades 7 and 8 alone. It's amazing to me when you think about that. And it's nice to see that the #1 site is Google Classroom, followed by other G Suite for Education sites like Google Docs and Google Slides. Kahoot, which is an educational game-based learning platform used by our teachers, has also made the top 10 list. But we are also notified about flagged and blocked activity and immediately reach out to those students. #1, we can lock their screens. #2, we can teach them how to conduct safe searches online. What I would like to do is go to a live GoGuardian demonstration for you. Mrs. Bro is going to join me here as a test student.
I'm here.
Thank you, Mrs. Bro. These are our classrooms set up. I'm going to go to the demo class and start a session. Right now, I have excluded one of our test students, and we can see this is the teacher dashboard. And on the dashboard, this is Mrs. Bro's test student tile. You would see for each class tiles all across here. And if I need to, as the teacher, drill down, I can do that and see exactly what a child is doing. But right here from the dashboard, I can see that Mrs. Bro is on Google Classroom. She is also on YouTube, and she has her Google Drive open right now. So, but if I need to see more, I would click that, and it brings me up a screen what exactly our test student is doing. So if this is something that I would say was really severely off task or inappropriate for school, I can just close this. And the tab is closed off the student's machine. I would also, and our teachers would then lock the device and send a message to the student.
And while Mrs. Perk is typing that in, this includes our families from home. So this is connected with our students on site and off site.
So I can say, please return to our research site if you need assistance, and I can lock the screen. Now the student is prompted on their screen that their screen has been locked by an administrator or their teacher. And then there would be a conversation. I can either chat. Now chat is typically turned off, but once a teacher, Mrs. Bro and I were chatting earlier, once a teacher starts a conversation personally, privately with that student, it is automatically turned on. So we can have a conversation as to what's going on. Again, I'm going to close that tab. And then I can unlock the screen. If I need to here, I can also take a screenshot, which is a picture of the screen, so I can go back to that later and review it with the student or possibly a parent. But if the child needs help, in this case, we chatted back and forth through the chat, and you can see we say, do you need help getting to the research site for your topic? What is a good site to go to? Back and forth. I can just go ahead and open a new tab. So I find this very helpful for our students. And I can type in a reputable site that I want them to use, and you will see that I am going to, in a minute, see that our test student has now been switched over to the Newsella website. It's a great tool. You can do this for all of your students as well at the same time. Another great thing about this is I, as a teacher, can create a scene. I won't go too much into detail here, but the scene basically lets me give the scene a name. This is my demo scene. It allows me to set up a filter. If I really only need the children to go to these particular 5 sites for research. So in other words, I, the teacher, am curating the content for my students, but giving them some leeway to do some research. I can set a list. I can set a specific number of tabs for the students to have open at one time, and I can push that scene out. I'm going to come back to our presentation. So we're really striving to keep your children safe, and really this is how you can help. When your child is at home, you might want to be logged out of all your personal accounts because, again, we can see the tabs that are open. So when they're using their my.bdms.org accounts, we're required by law to filter this. So when they're home, and if they're using your computer, you would want to be logged out of your personal accounts and have the student log into their my.bdms.org account. So if you feel very strongly about allowing your students to play games, because we have games blocked and we have shopping blocked, that's just an example. But if you feel like your student is old enough to shop online or play certain games, a big example would be Roblox. It is blocked online and your student would receive a message. Actually, maybe Mrs. Bro, would you mind if we just demonstrated that really quick, the Roblox, if you would just try to go there so everyone could see that screen?
Sure.
Thank you. Your student would receive a message that says this site is restricted, so it's just loading. But again, if you feel like you want your students to be able to play Roblox, some of the obstacle courses are like really great for children. It is a multi-user game, so sometimes you have to worry about other children or people because you really don't necessarily know who they are being on and being inappropriate. But there are some good components of it. We block it for school, though, for the multi-user purpose of it, and you don't really know who you're playing with. So if you want them to do it at home, you would need to allow your students to set up their own personal account. So again, just to review that, I would absolutely be logged out of your personal accounts when students are working online for schoolwork at our my.bdms.org domain. And if you would like to have them working on different things that we have blocked, then they would just need to use their own personal account. And it does seem to be not really loading properly, but on this screen, it's a big blue window that says you are restricted from this site. So let me just close that since it's being funny and go back to the presentation. We want to model good digital citizenship. So I would really like to show you that this presentation design is called Christmas 2020 and it's by Slides Carnival. It's a really great site if you're in education or business to find templates to use. And that is the website Slides Carnival. We are ready to open up the questions and answers session. If you have a question, please place it in the chat. Mrs. Bro and Mrs. Benfer are monitoring it and they can throw out the questions and I will help in any way I can. Thank you so much for your time today.
Okay, so Mrs. Perk, we have a lot of questions, which we knew we would, about people's private computers and home computers and being able to see their information. And absolutely, that's what went out in that memo to everyone, you know, understanding the Go Guardian, understanding that we have to monitor the children's use when they're in the my.BDMS account. we don't want you to feel like your privacy is being invaded. So I felt like we needed to have this meeting today to make it really clear what was going on with filtering systems. All the school districts are required to do this. It is just newer, and this is a stronger one for us because of the increased use.
The remote learning, especially.
Remote learning and the increased use in the classroom. So these laws are not new laws, and absolutely, I have too many things to worry about. I don't want to worry about your tabs at home. We're not looking at any of that. But what I'm saying is we need to be transparent in the fact that we are monitoring when kids are logged on to BDMS.org. So the kids in school are learning a lot about this. I am talking to them all of the time. I go into the classrooms and explain it to them. When they're doing a research project and the word suicide comes up in their searches or their work, I know about it. And if it's a research project they're doing, they're going to know, then it's okay, and I will talk to them about it. But if they're searching suicide on their mybdms.org account, I am making a phone call to parents or guardians in regards to that. This is a lot of responsibility, and we care about all of these kids, and really that is why this is in place. So as Mrs. Perk said, if your child is on your personal device at home in their My.Dot account, all you need to do, and I agree 100% because sometimes I forget to log out. We all do it. All you need to do is to log out of that when you're using your home computer. Another question was about if we got district laptops and computers. If we get them, we also have to monitor them. So we are working with the districts to do that. Mrs. Perk, you may want to talk about that because we have Newburgh computers in the building. I think we have some Valley Central computers in the building. Do you want to speak to that?
At the moment, we're looking a little bit more into that, Mrs. Benford, because it appears some of them are running GoGuardian. But here is how it should work. When a student is logged in with their my.bdms.org account, our domain, the device is being filtered. The internet is being filtered. Within our school building, grade 5, they're on Windows laptops. So in the filter, you actually see the entire Windows desktop. I'm looking at the chat myself as well, and I definitely hear your concerns about privacy. And I just want to reiterate again what Mrs. Benford said. It's the law, and we're following the law. It's very different now because of the remote circumstances. And you just really need to know, yes, if you are logged into your bank and a teacher was like, what is this tab? I don't know. And they open it up, they will see what's on your screen. So it is imperative that you log out of your accounts and your websites. And when the students are using it, they're using it for Bishop Dunn. Perhaps use a different window, but I recommend completely logging out. So again, also getting back to the district, we're working with the districts too, because we need to make sure that they don't have our filter blocked somehow. So like we have GoGuardian running, and we need to make sure our Newburgh and large school city district students, as soon as they log in to my.bdms.org, GoGuardian is running for them as well.
Maureen Fisher has an amazing question. I really like this one, Maureen. Good point. We're all learning together. She's asking if she's using the Google app on her phone.
Okay, so again, if you're using the Google app on your phone and you're in the Chrome browser, I should say that this is all about the Chrome browser. We will see what's
Yeah, that's just on your browser. We can't get into your phone books or any of your, information, on your phone. But that, that is a good question. But you do have to be careful as far as, and you really need to think about this. The kids are really more tech savvy than many of us are. And sometimes I don't think parents realize what their children are able to get to or look at, even at very young ages, if they have a cell phone, a tablet, or a Chromebook. So this is just part of that protection. And I understand. That's why we opened this meeting up today, to be able to have this discussion, because it is a little scary, some of the things that do pop up that I need to take care of and work with you.
I'm seeing a question from Mrs. Hickey. Mrs. Hickey, there are reports available. We have not set up the parent/guardian component of GoGuardian as of yet. It's actually a discussion we need to have, but teachers can run reports, and if there ever was an issue, and Mrs. Bro can speak to this, we actually had to reach out to a family regarding some of the use of the computer not on site. We have had wonderful success with our students being very good digital citizens when they're at school. It's incredible. I'm very impressed by our students. Our teachers have done a really great job with that and instilling that value in them. But at some point, we may be able to open it up for parents to see what their students and only their students are doing online. It's a conversation, again, that Mrs. Benford, Mrs. Bro, and I need to have, and your feedback would be greatly appreciated if you think that's something you want. I don't know that it would be like a weekly or a daily report, but I believe when it's set up, you would be able to log in whenever you wanted to see how it works. So I don't have enough information about it to tell you exactly how it works, though. I apologize for that.
Okay, there's a great question about how sure are we that once the students are logged out of their personal pages, that it won't monitor the computer or record personal information like passwords. I will share with you that, first of all, we are very careful about that. It is not a system to look into your computer and get passwords. It is not, personal info. And once we have anything that is open that is not a student's piece, we shut it down immediately. But I will let you know that in years past, and this has happened before, and be luckily counted that it wasn't you, I've had children log in to their Apple IDs, and I have been able to see on on a personal device that what information from home. So this is part of learning to be a good digital citizen. This is part of me teaching them, and Mrs. Perk teaching them, and the teachers teaching them, that you have to be very careful as far as sharing information. And it's very eye-opening when I have to contact a family and say, I can see all of your phone messages, and I can see that this has nothing to do with monitoring your phone or or any passwords or anything like that. Okay.
That's part of the privacy pledge. Also, there is a question. Mrs. Angelo Kenny is asking if, when she receives a laptop from district, would she need to add the program to it? So here's the answer. If it's a Windows machine, it does need to be added. We would really need to make arrangements to install that for you. If it is a Chromebook, it will automatically be pushed out.
What about no, not on Safari. Mrs. Fisher's asking about if it will.
It does not work on Safari or Edge or Explorer or Firefox. It is a Chrome extension. That is the browser that we're using at school. We also have safe DNS at the server level, and that is just another secondary precaution where our students are logging in at their computer and then going through a server. We have a safe DNS put in place there. So it should still help keep them safe online if they were using Safari at school, but that is not the browser we use at school specifically because of GoGuardian.
All right, I'm going to jump off of a question about GoGuardian, and I saw a question because there are many questions in the chat here. We had a music program that was sent out, the Paul Ifman Music Company. They do those band lessons after school. They make a contact with you, and the lessons are done virtually with you from home. So if there is any other interest with that, please just shoot a quick email to either Miss Eliza or Mrs. Bro, and we'll get that information out to you. We do have a few students that are doing it virtually. It's not, it's just like online learning. It's not perfect for everyone. So, if you are interested in the band program, it is still going on. And that's okay. That's all I needed to say about that. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me see if there are any other questions. Oh, this is a question about using their iPads and they go into their Google Classrooms from home via Safari. When they're at home, if they're going through Safari, we would not be able to see them. But in the classroom, if they are using their work, then we would be able to see their work. So Connie, one of the things that is really neat about it within a classroom is just if a teacher's teaching in front of a class and wants everyone to open up a certain website all together, that can get pushed out through the GoGuardian. So it's really neat to see, like the fifth graders the other day, they're all in there, they're all on their new Chrome, where they're on their laptops, they have their headphones on, and they're working on some poetry, and it's possible for Mrs. Vasilakos to just push out a website that she wants them all to go to. And we all know that fifth grade is a great class. It's a large class. And it's kind of neat to be able to use that and not need to every single time say, okay, and type in this address and do this. So it's just another tool to help us help the students. And I am not, like I said, I am not interested at all in monitoring anything that's going on personally with anyone. And I actually was telling Mrs. Perk and Mrs. Bro last night, it's a little stressful, just watching and seeing and talking to the students about it when it's something that's not an appropriate search. So, I think that that's a really important point from Mrs. Bro. Right now, it is only grades 4 through 8 who are on those filters, because those are the ones that have the one-to-one devices right now. So if your child's not in grades 4 through 8, until we got devices for them, they're not on this.
Our younger grade students are using the iPads for educational apps, but not online activities right now.
We do, I know, just to make a point, Mrs. Burrow reminded me, we do have some virtual after-school programs that are coming up with college students. We also have what else are we doing? We're doing some online assistance for students who are struggling with online learning with some graduate students. So if there's any need for that with tutors or one-on-one virtual help, you can certainly reach out to Mrs. Bro or myself in regards to that. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Anderson. You're so far away from us, but we still feel the love. Thank you very much. Any other questions? All right, well, we're going to be on for our virtual parents. If you are sticking around for extra help with virtual learning, please feel free to stay on. I am the digital support is definitely right after, so you can stay right on this link. I have some furniture to go move so the whiteboards can be installed, but I will be back, Mrs. Bro and Kirk, I'll be back if you need anything. Thank you, Mrs. Jonas. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. We definitely are feeling the love, and we're so thankful for all of our lovely meals and nice gifts that we got. I mean, I can't say enough. We love what we do, so thank you.
Yes, very kind, very generous of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.